What is up, everybody, and welcome to another episode of Drawing with Jack. This is, if you don't know, episode 50, and I'm excited that you are here with us because we are here with some of my good friends, Aaron Cosbill, the professor of comedy, a writer, producer, and actor for Cox in Space. We've got John here, who has a censored last name, and we cannot tell you who he is. He is just John for all intents and purposes for his job and security. And I'm Skip Marazzi, your host and friend on the Behind the Scenes Cox and Space podcast. Jack should be here. He said he was going to be here, so I'm hoping that he will be. We're supposed to be finishing up page 3 officially tonight, so I'm very, very excited for that. John, you remember Aaron? Aaron, John, y'all two know each other, right? Unofficially in the legal sense. There he is. Jack Haynes, our illustrator. What's up, buddy? No. Okay, long pause. It's either me or it's him. Oh, there you are. Okay, cool.
Sorry.
You're all good. We have John here with us tonight, who is a return guest. You may remember we talked with John about the casinos that he worked in and the security that happens there and the gaming that happens the last time he was on.
I do remember, yeah.
Yeah, fun times, fun conversation. And John is actually, he sent me a list of his favorite movies, which is a rubric. That's the right word, right? Or a matrix of what they are. So I have them in front of me. I will share them into the general chat as well. But it's 25.
A rubric or a kubrick? Huh?
It's a Kubrick rubric, but I don't think you have any Kubrick on here at all. So the 25 films, I believe, is what you're like. Yes, these are the ones. So what would you think? Do you think it's a rubric or a matrix, first of all?
It's a table.
Okay, yeah, it's a table more than okay, gotcha. Yeah, because there's no necessarily values in it. Perfect. All right. And then you said that these are your favorite movies, right? Like you sat down at one point, and you're like, you know what movies I really like, and spent some time to make this graphic. That's also why I'm sharing it, if that's all right.
Yeah, that's fine. There is one on there there's one that's not on there that I completely forgot about. That's definitely one of my favorites. But I mean, I guess we can get to that.
Well, I was just wondering first of all, what did you do to sit down and select these films? Because I've thought abstractly about this, but I've never created like an image for it, right? And then what was the criteria of like, you're like, this is the top 25?
I guess it was first having to convince myself, okay, this is not about rating these films on some objective measure.
Okay.
Which I find myself subconsciously trying to do.
Yes.
Because I think in a lot of ways, a lot of us might end up coalescing around the same kinds of things. When we try to do stuff as though it's objective. Not that it would actually end up being objective, but I think we kind of have ideas in our heads about what's the most respectable or what the prestige films are. I mean, I've got on my list The Shawshank Redemption because it's like one of my favorites, but...
What's up, Logan? Welcome to Drawing with Jack. Here with John.
Hello, everybody.
Logan, of course, is a writer, director, and actor. Writer and director. Wow, I just gave you all the credits. He's a writer and producer for Cox in Space.
Yeah.
So
writer, producer, voice actor.
Yeah, voice actor.
That's about it.
So we were talking about John's favorite films. So you're saying that we have this idea of like what these prestige films are, correct?
Yeah, and I was just kind of like, okay, I need to kind of like throw that out the window and just like, what are films that like affected me that I go back to watching a lot that, you know, filled me with a lot of joy, both growing up and things that I can revisit. And I don't know, it was kind of amorphous. It was just kind of, I made a list that was bigger than this and then just started whittling away at stuff.
Like you're like, yeah, I probably wouldn't watch that again, or yeah, it was good the first time. One of those for me is that the one with that amazing score has Jared Leto in it. It's about how you shouldn't do drugs. Damon Wayans. Um,
Oh,
you know what I'm talking about? No.
Requiem for a
Requiem
Dream.
for a Dream. You know what I'm talking about. Well, like, yeah, I'm glad I watched it one time, but I tried to watch it a second time, one time critically, just to see if I could do it. And I was like, yeah, I know where this is going. I really can't. I can't watch this movie again. It's beautiful. It's well told. The score is amazing, but it's the ride I only wanted to get on one time. So is it kind of like that? Like you applied that kind of criteria to the bigger list that you had?
Yeah, that's definitely one of them, and definitely a pretty big one. Where there's certain movies where I'm like, oh wow, this film is amazing. Also, it makes me feel terrible. I don't ever want to see that again. I
Fair.
really respect it though, but
Right.
oh,
Yeah.
ooh.
What's the Schindler's List, right? Again, like it's good to see one time, and then you're like, you know what, maybe not. I mean, like I know it happens, and it's dreary as fuck. Good job, Spielberg. You did it, right?
Yeah, that it's like, okay, I can't just respect the movie. I gotta like it. That's
Also,
just I
right.
guess when I was picking my favorites, I guess.
Nice.
That's respectable.
Now, is there any order to the ranking? It's a 5x5 cube for those of you who aren't seeing it yet. We got the stream up. This is what I was excited to see. Oh,
Got you loud and clear, Jack. Nice ticker. When did you support? When did you
Actually,
add
I
the
need to
ticker,
turn
man?
that off.
uh,
I need to turn that ticker off.
so because we have five.
It had a really sick message on it though. Why turn it off?
I mean, it's for my Twitch channel. I mean, it's not that I'm like ashamed of it or anything. It's just, it's like supposed to be on for my Twitch channel for this stuff. I mean, this is wigwags, and I don't, I don't want to like have a bunch of my own personal like stuff running for the wigwags.
Oh,
Even though I do have the music running, but
this is
that's
this
just
is
so everybody can know how cool I am, like with the music plays.
of course. This is drawing with Jack. So Jack, whatever you want to do while you're drawing is totally up to you. I am here for the ride. Um,
I
we
just want to draw. I
fair
just want.
fair enough. Fair enough.
Hell yeah, Jack.
And we're putting just the final touches on this page tonight. So
We are.
this is fantastic, John. I sorry, I tried to pose the question, and I'll do it again. So did you rank? Are the films in any particular order on this list of this table, rather,
Uh,
or was it?
they're in the order I thought of them.
Okay, all right, fair enough. Okay, and that's I didn't know. Yeah, if there was like greater to there's no gradient. Okay, cool. You're like this is for me the top 25 films that okay, perfect. Because we were looking at it. I was looking at it with Aaron. I was looking at it with Logan, and we're all like, yeah, these are films that I love too. And I was like, yeah, this is awesome. This is where I want to get together and talk about them.
There are a couple films on the list that I would consider comfort films for myself as well.
Which ones?
Oh man, Toy Story 4, Wall-E, Hot
Toy
Fuzz.
Story 4?
Yeah.
Toy Story 4. Yeah. Yeah, actually,
I have a justification for it.
Galaxy Quest. What?
Galaxy
Yeah,
Quest, yeah,
absolutely.
seriously, like Galaxy Quest is if I've been sad for a really long time, Galaxy Quest.
Kid and like just
I've been sad for a really long time.
fantastic things. Like I cling on to
Sigourney
memories.
Weaver's boobs will always cheer you up. Also, there's some fantastic acting in that movie from Alan Rickman. So,
Yeah.
and how can they not? It's just a little bit of cleavage for taste, and she's blonde. So
the first time I saw the Truman Show, I had an existential crisis. I was like 12.
uh-huh. Exactly. That's kind of what the film is for, I believe, right?
And now
Yeah.
people can sell themselves willingly. It's just called going live.
Right.
Yeah, you're right.
Wow. Here we are.
By the way, guys,
on-
this is the Cox and Space podcast. We are live.
Yeah, we are live on the Drawing with Jack show. We're all just characters surrounding Jack, who is an artificial intelligence, and we are all in the Matrix. So, John, now that you've got our general reaction to the overall selection of films that you presented, Is there anyone in particular you want to tackle? I am interested in your take on Toy Story 4, if that matters, or if that weighs into your decision, rather.
I guess I can talk about that one. Although I do want to mention one other one that I was like one of my favorites that I just completely blanked on when I.
Oh,
made
this
the
is the one.
list.
Yeah. What is the mystery 26th that you only know if you listen to this podcast?
Gross Point Blank.
Wow. Wait, that's the Mini Driver, John Cusack, right? They go back to high school.
Yeah.
Is that the one?
Yeah.
Oh
Yeah,
my
the
God.
one where John
Wow.
Cusack is a hitman who has to go to his 10-year high
Yeah.
school. And like, it's a comedy, but a lot of the feelings expressed in that are kind of,
That's interesting. Hey, before we tackle your list, actually, so that's an interesting one to add. Does anyone want to add the one that is not on this list that they want to add, like their comfort film? Because I think Grosse Pointe Blank is a really interesting one, John, for you to mention because of just the flavor.
Yes.
Yeah, or his whimsy. Yeah, I would agree. Yeah, that would definitely. I could see those two being your films. Logan, what you got?
Ooh, The Mask is not on here.
Oh, The Mask! It kind of has both of those things.
Oh, also, Who Framed Roger Rabbit?
Those are both excellent nominees as well.
We're talking about Aaron Cosfield's cornerstone of comfort films. Cosfield's cornerstone of comfort films. Should be sold as a box set. Logan, what you got? What's your go-to?
Well, this kind of goes back to because back in the day we had physical copies of things.
Yeah.
That we could just watch, on our own. So one of them is not exactly a movie, and the other one is a weird movie for me to associate with myself at that particular age.
Okay.
So I had a copy of AC/DC's performance at Donington that I watched.
That's very specific.
I used to fall asleep to that, and then I found out what Scarface was. So I've seen Scarface more times than probably anyone ever should. By the time I was 14, I was cursing at like a college level. It just wasn't a good look,
It's because of Scarface.
Right.
All right, fair.
But I wouldn't be the person I was today if I didn't, fall asleep to Scarface probably over 500 times.
See, that's why Memento for me. I've fallen asleep to that movie and woken up to it so many times, so many random places in that movie. So John, thank you for indulging us in that exploration. Because I wanted to know everybody's. So what is your? So first of all, let me preface this to say that I love Toy Story 4. That I think it's the crowning achievement of Pixar, the Pixar Toy Story series, and so much so that we did a podcast about it, where that's the case. So I'm interested in hearing what your take is on Toy Story 4.
I guess it's I know it's kind of a hot take to pick 4 over the other Toy Story films.
One is weak. Like. It's not a great film. If you go back and watch it, it's the animation isn't even that good. 3 is definitely peak and has some great villains in it, but it doesn't conclude the story. But
I mean, if I had to call one peak, probably number 2.
Okay, yeah, fair. 2 also has a good story. The only reason I don't really enjoy it is because it's a simple hijinks film that goes wrong. And of course it will. You expect it to go wrong from the beginning. And it feels like too much dragging on with the whole plot of will I, won't I go, and spend time with my toy friends. But that's just my take on it. But 2 is yours.
Well, I mean, I guess when I think of the classic one that that is the height of Toy Story. I mean, I feel
Okay,
like that,
yeah, no, I see where you're going with that. Yeah.
sure, that's a big thing. You've got
Also,
Buzz actually taking kind of a leadership role.
right. Well, and also how you see that it pays off in four.
What's on?
Now it's Toy Bar.
He's got to go around the horn. It's faster.
This whole segment, you can say whatever you want to because Disney is not going to let us. Even
Yeah, we're gonna have
Was kidding it.
I'm just gonna have to nip it. So if I tell you where I have a couple bodies hidden right now, that you guys will just know that it's obviously gonna be edited out by Disney.
We can't even show the trailer.
Well, you know, they'll come up with a citation just because they're trying to be overprotective. And Buzz as a hero is fun, but like you can see that they have like they send a celebrity cast out, just you know. But you are right. There's some like, this is hilarious, this bit, and that meeting Zurg and finding out that they are father and son. Like it's a bit, and then they made it real. Because at the end of the movie, you see him throwing a ball back and forth.
Let's play catch, Dad.
Yeah. So yeah, if you're talking about like what classic is, and we find out what like a Woody story is too.
Hold on.
Yeah,
The
guess
boys are
like
back in town.
Yeah, I
the
see.
things
Yeah,
that
I see what you're talking
like
about. Yeah. Like 3 can't exist without 2 existing. So yeah, no, 100%.
I guess like the things that I like about 4 are a lot of things that I started liking about 2. Was like,
Okay,
I
I'm with
mean,
you.
I like all the stuff about Woody's will he, won't he go into the museum.
Okay.
It was sort of that sort of feeling torn between different ideas of what you ought to be doing with your life. Where he's like, okay, am I a toy? Is it about legacy? Is it about continuing to be looked at and appreciated by people? If I go in this museum, is it worth that trade-off? And then 4 kind of continues where it's like, okay, so now I've he's they did the thing of some people would draw connections with reincarnation stuff when the toys get a new kid at the end of Toy Story 3 and stuff.
Right.
But 4 is kind of like, well, he's already lived one life as a toy. And that question of like, okay, you've already done this thing, and what do you continue to do with your life? How do you carve your own path and decide what you're gonna do and make those hard decisions where if what you want to do doesn't gel with all the friends and family you've made along the way and becoming more independent, which I think is kind of a tougher thing. I mean, I think I also just had a really positive reaction to it because I expected it to be a complete cash grab, and then it actually...
Right. Well, I've been surprised every time. Like I thought each one of the sequels was going to be, and they keep coming back and giving more. Yeah. So, 100%,
Yeah,
I agree with that.
it exceeded my expectations. So then, like, I think it just had an extra effect on me because I wasn't expecting it to.
Yeah, exactly. Spoilers, having Woody fall in love, or like finally decide to choose love for himself, like that. Like I was just like, dang, like I did not expect to see that in a Toy Story movie. And Buzz being like, I'm going to take over, looking after this crew. I'm like, that again, did not expect to see that, because Woody's the hero of, of this group of toys.
Yeah. I guess,
And
2 people following their callings, and even if they're friends, like that kind of drawing them away from each other, and just it was kind of one of those things where it felt like the movies kind of grew up with me.
yeah,
Like I kind of had the same experience where I just happened to be born in a year where a lot of the Harry Potter books, J.K. Rowling herself not standing and how she's kind of gone, but setting that
Right,
aside,
right.
the growing up during the phenomenon of Harry Potter, where it was kind of like, I was kind of around the same age of all the characters as the story went on, and
They
then
got
the
you.
issues getting more,
Yeah.
the stories would get more serious and cover more topics that I was engaging with in my own life. and feeling that kind of connection as it went on. I kind of got that same thing from Toy Story.
Yeah, see, that's one of the things I thought about it too, is that like Toy Story 4 is for the kids, but I also feel like it's for the adults who grew up with Toy Story and their kids are now like leaving the house or like they're getting to that age. And so they're like also prepping for like, when you don't have a kid as your purpose anymore, like, there's a whole life after that. And so that's why, like, I really think that, because they told the story on a bunch of different levels where you can connect with it, whether you're the grandparent or if you're the parents or the kids. Yeah, it's really rich, in my opinion.
Yeah, and I feel like, oh, sorry, go on.
So you're looking at you're like Toy Story 4.
I mean, to me, Toy Story 3, I agree. Toy Story 3 is the pinnacle. Toy Story 2 was trash. Toy Story 1 is near
Toy Story
pinnacle.
2 is trash.
Hold
on, I have to interject.
Hey, I love a hot take.
Yeah,
I mean, but elaborate. Why do you think this?
Well, listen, it's not because there's anything like Toy Story 2 did that like really offended me. I don't remember anything about Toy Story 2. I remember
that's
Toy Story
kind of my issue with it too.
I remember Toy Story 3. I kind of remember Toy Story 4, but I feel like that's just because that was the newest one. But I don't know.
Dude, I think you need to watch Toy Story again.
Like, as somebody who's recently watched those ones, I think Toy Story 4 has like the depth to it because of the girl in the antique shop with the voice box. I think that's going to be a memorable thing that has like a takeaway to it. Toy Story 3 obviously has the whole preschool experience and then going to hell in the garbage trucks. Which I have carried with me since I first saw the movie like 10 or 15 years ago because it's so terrifying. I was still an adult at the time. It was still terrifying. But yeah, Toy Story 2 and Toy Story 1, they suffer from the same issue, which I'm glad that they fixed like later on, is that it's just like this kind of like blur of activity for kids and like not a whole lot of like character development to grab onto. But also,
dude, we had Jessie.
Yeah, Jesse's introduced in Toy Story 2. I love her for sure. But
we had that entire character arc happen before us, where she's like she was an abandoned toy, and that's why she was like,
oh my God, don't break my heart
if
again.
no one
I try
loves
to
me, I'm
forget
gonna
about
go
that.
get loved in the museum.
Yeah, you're freaking right. That song wouldn't.
Come on, are we watching the same movie?
No, it's just that one part. It's like Requiem for a Dream. Like, it makes me sad every time, so I try to forget that Toy Story 2 even exists. I can't admit how much it hurts. What?
Because it does.
Yeah, because it does. You're right. And John, like, I'm coming back around to like I see like how 2 is definitely like structural, right? To the rest of Toy Story. And that's the point Logan you're making too, is that Jessie comes in at that movie. We get Woody's backstory in that movie.
We get Woody's backstory, and we also get kind of to expand on John's idea from earlier. Like, I don't feel like him going into the museum is like choosing a different life, but I feel like that's like a metaphor for life and death, where it's like you go into a museum, you never touch, a kid never touches you again,
right?
And you're just there forever,
right?
And would that not resemble death for a toy?
Yeah, I mean, I imagine it's a type of death. I was imagining what the story would be like, as an adult now watching it, where Woody's in a museum and all the different toys are all hanging out in the museum. Because I kind of think they would. I think they would have a social group. Woody would still try to be in charge and stuff.
That's actually a fun idea.
I would love to see that spin-off. Now it's owned by Disney, so we could always have like a what if, right? Like a Marvel. We could always have a what if Toy Story series.
Yeah, we just have to like present it to him.
Hey, I'm pitching it now. This is us pitching it. We could write it. It's no problem. We got a bunch of writers here. John, you get benefit from being here as well for introducing us to Toy Story. Okay, so a movie that I would also like to talk about. People have further thoughts on Toy Story, any of the series franchise that they want to throw in before we segue?
No.
Because one of them that's on here that's really close to my heart that we all kind of mentioned, because I got to see this movie on my birthday. I think I was like 10, maybe 11, something like that. But the Truman Show with Jim Carrey, and I'm a huge fan of Jim Carrey. Just his whole progression of work, who he is as a person and actor, how he's developed over time. But this movie in particular, because of it, it's just like it's one of those things. It's like a concept that's so weird you don't get to see it in stories very much. It's not your everyday story, but you immediately relate to it. John, why did you put it on the list?
Um, I it was a movie I think that just it affected me a lot when I was younger. Um, I think I initially watched it when I was a younger kid, not expecting it to be what it was because I mostly knew Jim Carrey as you know, being that character from The Mask or Liar Liar and stuff.
Heath Fincher, right? Yeah.
And then being very surprised by the film and its depth. And I mean, as you can see from me also having Master and Commander on there, I'm a bit of a Peter Weir fanboy.
Gotcha. I did not realize they had the same director. I'll need to check that out with that in mind.
No, just I mean, I guess a lot of that stuff about like a thing that I
There's a
didn't
map for
fully
everybody, guys.
appreciate when I was younger, and how much it affects me now, especially with the internet being what it is. The way that like when it cuts away to all the people watching the show, it kind of felt like just little joke bits for flavor when I was a kid, and now just kind of how serious that is and how much of our lives are kind of spent like that, where it's like everybody feels like you're empathizing with the people we watch online, having our parasocial relationships with people, but having no real investment in them.
Fair.
Everybody cheers when Truman makes it out, and then they go, all right, what else is on?
What else is on?
You know?
Right. The show's over.
Everybody's
Who
rooting
cares?
for him to escape, but nobody's out there protesting with I can't remember the character's name, but the lady who got kicked off the show for trying to tell Truman what the world really was.
Right. Yeah. Exactly. I
just
can't remember
being that spectator. That's a whole through line that I didn't really pay enough attention to when I was a kid, along with all the stuff about the ideas of your world not being what it was, having your identity not be what you thought it was, realizing your accomplishments weren't what you thought they were, that you were essentially just following a script, and so was everybody else.
Right.
And then just the acting and score and everything. It was just a movie I saw when I was younger that covered a lot of stuff like that, and I thought handled really well, acted really well. And it's one that whenever it was on cable, I'd always sit down and watch it.
Right. Yeah, it is a very enthralling story. And that is, I mean, you're making such a good point about where we are with this observation of people living lives. Like we didn't barely have reality television when the Truman Show came out. I mean, I think there were some shows, possibly maybe Survivor was on, and some like shows like American Idol. I think if someone can fact check me if they want to. But I remember it being like a novel idea that we would be watching some person just live their lives. And then here we are in 2025. And TikTok is a thing. TikTok battles, right, are a thing where two people are versus each other to see how many fans they have who watch their streams. Isn't that what it is? Right? Like that's a thing. And so it's the Truman Show, but like on capitalism crack. So
People are fighting to be on the Truman Show.
Yeah, we live in
the
the clown dimension strikes again.
yeah.
Did a woman just give birth on live Twitch? A woman
Wait, what?
just
Has somebody done that yet?
yeah,
I'm
like a woman
surprised
just
that
gave
it's
birth
taken this
live
long.
on Twitch for the first time. Yeah, like the first woman to ever give birth live on Twitch. Yeah.
Is
I
it
feel
because
gross.
everyone had?
Like I have to look this up now.
Yeah, right. Like those are some facts that need to be in the brain. just to see. It's so surprising. When did somebody stop them before? And we're like, "Hey, girl, you're not being reasonable. You're obviously under a lot of painkillers."
Now, this woman was like giving birth in her home, like with a midwife, like
Okay,
it
so
was like
she.
yeah, it was like not a birth in a hospital, it was like a birth in a home. And she, like, yeah, gave birth, yeah.
Also,
That's fucking
question:
crazy.
Have you seen the
Live on Twitch.
Have you seen the footage?
Oh, yeah.
Are we talking like
I
close
mean,
up?
it's not like you can see, like,
Yeah, that's what I was
everything.
wondering. Or is it just like sploosh, like baby in the
Bro,
tub?
No,
What a
it's like,
wild question, Skip. What the
I
fuck?
need
no, wild
facts.
question.
My brain is creating all sorts of
It's
scenarios, and I
like
need to line it
it's
up
like
with
the
something.
camera's like the camera is like 6 to 9 feet away from her
Nice.
and like everything, and it's like all taking place behind like a sheet. So yeah, you don't really see
Okay, gotcha. So
anything.
sometimes you see like
Dial
weird.
into that dilation.
They just start doing Austin Powers bits.
That was the bit I was thinking of, where there's like, oh, this is where the submarine sandwich comes out.
Yeah, you know.
This is where we have our pet giraffe. Um,
Yeah, they pull out like 8 feet of rope behind the curtain before the baby comes out. Or
yeah,
something.
yeah, exactly.
Okay, so I want to ask about the inclusion of The Thing.
Mm.
Like, talk to me about including that movie and why that movie is here.
I love John Carpenter, and I think The Thing is his best movie. I love the actors in it. I love Kurt Russell. I love it's Wilford Brimley who's in it, right? Who's the mortician, if I'm remembering
Wilford
right.
Brimley, Keith David.
Keith David. Yeah, who was also amazing in They Live. I love The Thing because it's sci-fi horror done in kind of like a more interesting way to me. I guess I've maybe it's just because I've always been a little cowardly my whole life, but I've never been the biggest fan of horror movies in general, which is probably a little odd when you see like Alien on this list.
Right, yeah, exactly.
But I guess like maybe that's why films that are horror adjacent or just like horror but a little bit different, ones that I can kind of connect a little bit more, kind of resonate with me. Like to me, The Thing is more of a mystery film, and it's not so much about the like horror of the body morphing monster that tears apart, that eats
You want
people's
to call the
hands and
movie
stuff.
where a dude's head grows its own legs and rips itself off of a body and crawls away horror adjacent?
It's horror adjacent.
Well, yeah.
I mean, it's definitely horrific.
It's only kind of horrific. Come
Well,
on now.
That's a hot take, but okay. I'll allow it.
Because to me, it's like the point of it is more about the it's like that stuff is all in it, but like what it's about is the mystery and the paranoia of not knowing what anything is around you, which I think is really, really interesting.
John, I see the same thing in Alien, because Alien is none of the movies Alien in the franchise, most of them aren't, the earlier ones. They're about something else. They're about a scientific exploration. They're about miners. They're right, like it's about this crew of people who has this horrific thing happening to them.
Well, I think though what he's getting at more with The Thing is that, I mean, it really resonates on a more visceral or maybe just like a more instinctual level, because it really gets at the whole idea of how we don't really trust one another. Like in The Thing, there's really this like psychological thriller terror aspect of like like the whole scene where they're testing the blood, where it's like they don't know who is like the thing. It's like there's this whole like idea where it's like you don't trust, or you don't know truly like what the other person, like what they're capable of, and I think that's like something that The Thing, that's what, like, I definitely like laud the inclusion of The Thing here. Like The Thing is one of my favorite movies too, but The Thing is one of my favorite movies because it like taught me like like a truly like true terror thing where you don't know like who's sitting next to you sometimes. Like you don't know what they're thinking, you don't know what they're capable of, you don't know what like you just really don't know sometimes, like who's sitting next to you, and like it like really like that movie in my mind hits home in a lot like deeper way than a lot of other horror movies because that scene where they're testing the blood, and like he was saying, just the concept of like the hidden terror, and like there being something hidden inside of someone like coming out, and them being like someone totally different, all the way up until the end where you don't even know like who's infected, who's what happens.
That's
It's
interesting.
all it's a
It's
perfect movie almost.
I would agree. It also supports the thing that he was saying that it's a mystery because there's a hidden murderer among you is kind of the idea, but it's turned on its head that the murderer is this thing that's taken over your body, right?
Yeah.
Yeah,
I
and then
mean,
and then what people do in response to that paranoia, it maybe become
exactly.
murderers themselves.
Yeah.
Right, right, yeah, exactly. Yeah, I mean, John Carpenter is good at writing a movie on levels, where it seems to be about one thing, and the story is about one thing, but there's also something else going on underneath it. So, yeah,
And remember when that movie came out, I mean, it was legendarily like a flop. Like people were not into how much of a bummer it was.
it is a bummer. I mean, it's good for
It's a
it.
huge bummer of a movie, yeah. People were not into it at the time, but it became like a pretty instant cult classic because everybody like eventually had to recognize just like how fucking great of a fucking movie it is. It's just it does its job. Like everything that it sets out to do, it like does it so fucking well. And all of the performances are really good. Story's fucking tight. Like it's great. Love that movie.
There's a fantastic one that they're both together, right next to each other. John, did you want to talk about Master and Commander since it's on the other side of the Truman Show?
Ah, I mean, yeah, that's just it's a movie that I think kind of got part of me, I don't know if it just got greenlit because Pirates of the Caribbean was getting big.
Okay.
I think if it was, it kind of, was done a disservice with a lot of people expecting it to be that kind of movie because it's not really about, swashbuckling action and stuff. It's
Yeah, that's
it's a
true. I
movie that
remember people's reaction being very much that. Yeah, they wanted another high seas movie.
yeah it it's a movie that kind of confronts kind of the realities of people living on the ocean. Like some of the people in it get really superstitious and stuff, being isolated for so long, believing certain people are bad luck, having to make difficult decisions of like if somebody goes overboard or something, do you choose to save that person, or what's your responsibility to them versus other people? Not to mention the two main characters, uh, played by Russell Crowe and Paul Bettany, are just great, who are friends with contrasting philosophical viewpoints. Russell Crowe being more of a brash, uh, um, well, he's the military commander, with a lot of loyalty to country, faith in God, and that sort of thing. And then Paul Bettany's a scientist who has maybe a little bit more out there political and scientific beliefs for his time.
Hmm.
And they just spend a lot of time talking about it and how it relates to other things. And I just love the conversations and the interactions between people. And it also just has one of the dumbest puns I've ever heard that I love
What is it?
in it. Just there's a scene where just Russell Crowe just makes a pun at a dinner table, and just I feel like I was the only person who was watching it, and I just laughed my ass off. And I'm a sucker for that. uh,
Do you have to watch the movie to understand the pun?
No, you really don't. I mean, if it's just um, like I want to say it, but like honestly, like I feel like I would just do it poorly. Like a clip is just
Fair, okay. So you
it,
leave it to the people who will watch the movie to look for the pun when he's sitting at dinner.
yeah, it like well,
Fair.
it's fun both because I love dumb puns, but also because it's also illustrative of the characters where Russell Crowe essentially is sitting there, where he's trying to bait Paul Bettany into setting up the pun, and Paul Bettany's just confused and not going for it, and he just has to repeatedly ask him these questions and will not stop until until he sets him up. And then as
Ah.
soon as he says it, he's like slams on the table and he's like, "I got you," and says it, and like and that's illustrative of I think a point about the whole movie where it can have these little moments that like are just fun on their own, but also all of them tie into consistently illustrating and reinforcing who these characters are as people, where like that character is somebody who regardless of what he's doing will never give up regardless of what he's doing, and just that's how he treats this conversation as well. And
Of
I love a
course.
movie with like that much attention to detail and consistency in the writing, where it's just really exploring these characters and how they would react in all of these little ways and how their worldviews cause them to change. Like it's those little moments like that that I think make a lot of movies special, and that movie just has a whole ton of those.
That's
Um,
very cool. Um, do you know if the director is also the writer, or is it I'm
I'm not
gonna
sure if he did
IMDb
the
it real quick.
adaptation. It is a it's an adaptation of a book series.
That's a whole
Um,
series. Okay, gotcha.
yeah. Uh, It's why am I blanking
Here, I'm pulling it up
on the
now.
name of the author? It's um, Patrick O'Brien.
Gotcha. Okay.
Uh, but yeah, highly recommend the movie. Recommend the books too.
Oh, so you've also read the books.
I have not read all the books. No,
Okay.
there's a lot of them. I got a collection of all of them for Christmas one year, but I have not made my way through all of them.
Fair enough. Um, that's awesome. Also, shout out to Paul Bettany for being just the correct performer for the roles that he's cast in, because he
Yeah.
just always is. You're like, oh, that guy, he's doing his job. He's playing the character, and then you forget about him within the context of the movie. It's hard to be an actor who consistently gets work, who is that actor, who is largely forgettable because they're so good at making the movie look real.
Yeah.
Because they played together also in A Beautiful Mind,
Oh yeah.
right? Like that's
Yeah.
right. Yeah, exactly. And then, so you're like, he's the imaginary friend, so of course you won't remember him when the movie's over because you know he's fake, um, right? So you don't think of him as an actor.
Uh,
It, it,
I, gu- I
this is
guess that's
really
one way to think about it.
just a bit about how he blends so well
Into the movie.
whatever
Yeah, I
role
haven't
role
seen
he's
that one
doing.
enough.
You know, I was because he's under a whole lot of makeup in the MCU also.
Oh yeah.
Vision, and then he's dead, but he's not dead, but then he is. He is dead.
Alan Tudyk kind of has that same thing about him.
See, he was another one I was thinking of. Yeah, who's very similar to that. Where like shout out to Alan Tudyk, who like shows up in his role, does his thing as whatever character he needs to, and then he's largely forgettable because he's doing exactly what he's supposed to be doing.
But he does it remarkably well.
Stephen Tobolowsky was the one for a really long time as well. He just like that guy, that balding guy with the sharp, pointy nose, and those little eyes. And we've gotten way off track. So, do you have any final thoughts on
Paul
Master and
Bettany's a great
Commander?
actor.
Who's that?
It's just like Paul Bettany's a great actor.
He is fantastic, and that's why I think like he's so good that you don't believe that he's an actor. That was the point I was trying to make. You believe he's a character who exists in the movie. Maybe I'm the only one. Okay.
His voice always stands out to me. Although I just pulled up his filmography, and there are a couple roles where I'm like, oh crap, he did kind of disappear into that. Like he was Ted Kaczynski in the Manhunt show. I
Wow.
completely forgot about that.
Damn.
I did not. Yeah, I did not see that. Yeah, no, it just very sharp, always good at it. That was not to say anything about him. I think the difference, like Russell Crowe, right? Russell Crowe stands out because he always stands out in the movies because it's generally Russell Crowe showing up in the movie in some variation. He does some good accents. He does emote well too, for sure. But you're like, that's Russell Crowe. Where I think most times with Paul Bettany's roles, you're like, oh, that's Vision, or whoever he's playing.
Yeah, he does disappear into the role very easily.
Which I think is a really good quality. I mean, like as a character actor, like I'm just like, bravo to him.
Yeah, to be that immersed in a character is an art form for sure.
Did you guys
Like your
know
boy,
that he was in WandaVision?
Yes.
Yeah,
No,
he's
I'm just
Vision.
playing. I'm just playing, guys. I'm just.
But no, I was gonna say like you like Daniel Day-Lewis. Like he's another like method actor type of guy. And I mentioned him to say number one that he's a good actor, but number two, there was a bit that I had about him in Gangs of New York where like I feel like he was just that greasy like all the time, like that wasn't makeup.
No, I would believe it was character acting. Yeah, he
Yeah,
probably
he didn't shower for like 4 weeks probably.
I think that's true. I think he probably did that. He stayed in a wheelchair for My Left Foot. Like he
Because
lived,
I mean he is
he lived in the
unbelievably
cabin he
greasy
built
in that
in
movie.
Dances with Wolves.
But I mean like dude, go back and watch Gangs of New York. He is
I'm telling you, I
unbelievably
agree
greasy
with
in
you.
that.
He's probably straight up that greasy. I bet you when
He
you see
is
people cringe
very
around him on
greasy.
camera, it's because he smells. He's like wanting to be authentic. He
Got
probably
stuff like
washed
coming off
himself
the
in
red
blood,
carpet.
so he smelled like the butcher he was. Speculative on my part, yeah. But I would.
Anyway, sorry about that.
Speculative.
So, John, we have a bunch of directions to go with that. Is there another film that you would like to pick off this list to talk about?
I mean, I'm good to talk about whichever ones you guys find
Okay, then
interesting that you guys
let's
have
talk
something to say
about Sigourney Weaver's cleavage because I think we've only touched on it a little bit, and I think that we could really rest our head on that hefty bosom.
If only I could touch. I'm sorry.
No, I was speaking the metaphor of just speaking about Galaxy Quest. Of course, because what a fun movie! A parody of a franchise that in itself is its own movie that does not rely on you having to know anything about Star Trek to enjoy it.
Right.
Yeah.
Um,
I actually, oh, sorry, go ahead.
Sorry, I was just gonna say it was rare. Please go on.
Oh, I actually, a reason this movie stood out especially to me when I was a kid was I saw Galaxy Quest prior to me seeing any Star Trek
Okay,
at
so
all.
wow, what was that like for you?
It was a funny movie.
Right?
I knew Tim Allen from uh,
Home Improvement?
Home Improvement, from Toy Story.
Shout out to Tim the Toolman Taylor.
Yeah, I'm trying to remember if I had
Jungle to
seen
Jungle.
Alan
Oh
Rickman
my God.
in anything prior to this, because I feel like I was pretty young. I know I saw Die Hard probably before I was that old, but
Gotcha.
like I still don't think I had seen it yet when I saw.
Yeah, I don't remember as a kid knowing who he was. Because I don't think Harry Potter had come out at that time, right?
I don't. Yeah, no. I don't believe it had. And even though I didn't know all these people, I didn't know Sam Rockwell.
Oh yeah,
Didn't know.
Sam Rockwell's of
Oh
course.
my God.
I'm gonna die. I'm gonna die. You're not gonna die. You're not gonna die. Oh my God. Yeah, what a fantastic performance for Sam Rockwell as just the guy named Guy.
That scene where they're on the planet, he's worried he's gonna die. The particular line that just lives in my head is where he's like, I don't even have a name. I'm just security detail number whatever. And Security Weaver says, you have a name, Guy, and he goes, do I?
Do I?
And I'm like, sometimes I've felt that kind of, existential confusion, Guy.
Right,
I know
right.
what you're on about.
Right?
Yeah, exactly. Oh my God, a superior race of aliens who replicated stupid sci-fi and made it work because it was supposed to. What a great premise for a plot. It's so dumb, and the aliens, like, not superior beings at all. They're just so dumb. Yeah, also, who is it? Rainn Wilson's on that cast. Uh, Monk, the guy who played Monk, is in there. There's another famous guy who became famous as a comedian later, and one of my favorite female character actresses, the one who has no voice box, her. She's done so many great roles.
Yeah, I'm trying to remember. Who was that?
I think it's another one is she's a woman zombie that is like being tamed in the movie Fido. She's also the stepmom in Parent Trap.
Oh yeah.
It's like so she's like one of these, like, she'll show up and you'll be like, dang, like there you are. Um,
Sorry.
yeah, you just go,
Um,
dang.
Dang. I just wanted to say dang.
Fair enough.
Damn.
So yeah, I mean, just, and so it's like that Galaxy Quest is just like stocked full of like, high caliber talent. Um,
Definitely.
And just a lot of humor, I feel like, on every level.
For sure.
There's slapstick, there's goofy shit, because like I said, I think the first time I saw Galaxy Quest, I was probably, I don't know, 6 or 7, and I remember enjoying the movie, but then I went back and watched it later, and I was like, wow, this holds up. This is actually a really funny movie.
yeah, I watched it again
Yeah.
as an adult recently. I think I'd seen it with my family when I first saw it. And they were like, yeah, I didn't realize this movie was going to be, again, still so funny.
Right.
Because it is. I mean, it's just a really fun ride. Justin Long's in that movie. He's the head dork, who's helping them on the ground. One of the ensigns.
Oh yeah.
If I can mention one of my favorite Justin Long movies,
Sure.
just really fast, just because you mentioned him, I don't remember the movie. I don't remember what it's called, but he convinces his parents that he ends up getting accepted to college, but he doesn't. He makes up a fake college, and he goes as far as to find this place that he can renovate into a college.
Interesting.
Does anybody else remember this movie?
I think
No.
I remember. Oh, Accepted.
Is this called
Yeah, I
Accepted?
think that's
Is
the
this called
one.
Accepted?
Yes.
That's actually the basis of a couple of true crime stories, except for it ends up with the dude murdering their parents. So,
Whoa,
Yeah.
Justin
Yeah,
Long is sauce.
yeah. I don't know if
Yeah.
Accepted is like based on a true story or if they're inspired by the movie Accepted. Um, be- yeah, generally it turns out their lives
Either
are
way,
about
it's
to be
wild.
exposed. Yeah.
Yeah, like either which way, like what the fuck?
Right. Like, that's actually the premise of Camp Nowhere, also, where they don't want to go to camp, so they make up a camp, and they all pretend like they're at camp, but it's just them hanging out. Christopher Lloyd is the camp counselor. No, early
Okay.
90s deep cut. Yeah, no reason to watch that movie. I'm just saying that it has the same premise. Like they fool their parents to and then do the exact same thing that they
You want
don't
to talk
want
about no reason to watch a movie? Check out Surf Ninjas.
to. We have a Surf Ninjas review on a previous Draw with Jack episode. Oh man,
What a silly movie.
he had to get it down in two parts. Um, yeah. Goddamn, Galaxy Quest. Let me take a break
I
real
personally-
quick just to call out. This is a Cox and Space podcast, and this is Drawing with Jack. We're here with Logan Gifford, Aaron Cosbeil, Jack Haynes, myself, Skip Marazzi, and our guest John here. And you can join us. You can go to coxinspace.com. That's coxinspace.com. You can get connected on our Discord. Come hang out with us in the green room, on the show afterwards. And all you have to do is first go to the Facebook and connect with Aaron Cosbeil. Let him know what you're interested in. John is interested in a bunch of these movies, which are super fun to talk about, and we will keep doing that. And you can come on and talk about what you're interested in. So also up there, you can get connected with our Patreon, and for just $5 a month, you can help support the animation that we have in the works right now. So let us know. Get connected on any of those places. All of our contacts are up there, so you can find us on all of our socials. You can reach out to us in any way that you would like to. So we will get back to the show. But first, John, do you have any socials that you want to call out so people know where they can connect with you?
I guess I don't have any public pages, I guess.
That's right. Why would we
Probably
do that?
should.
I apologize. We don't even let out your last name on the show. What was I'm sorry. I'm sorry. That was super awkward. I was like, do you want to unmask in front of everybody so they can find you publicly and know where you're at? I apologize for that. I'm not going to edit it out because this is to all those people who are
Dude, it's all
listening, and
good.
they get to take shots when I make a big blunder, and that's a big one, boys. So chug. So, okay, cool. Well, we are back into the show. And we
So,
will-
John,
There you go, Logan.
I'm sorry, man. One of the
Absolutely, jump
movies
in.
I wanted to ask about that actually seems to contrast a lot of the ones on the list was Hot Fuzz. And
Contrast.
as far as being more of a silly type of movie, you know?
Um,
I mean, I guess Shanghai Noon, because I guess Shanghai Noon is silly in parts,
There you
but
go.
you know,
Galaxy
we'll
Quest,
get to
Peter
that.
Young Frankenstein. Young Frankenstein is nothing but silly.
We'll get to these things.
But Hot Fuzz
Yeah, I mean,
is
like,
definitely worth talking about.
Hot Fuzz is the one that particularly stuck out to me for some reason, and I wanted to ask you about why you decided to include a Hot Fuzz.
honestly, it's not a super complicated reason. I just think it's really
That's
funny.
fine with me.
That is
Yeah,
absolutely,
there you
and
go,
that's,
baby.
that's the reason to include it. It is really funny.
Yeah.
I'm about to say it's A1.
Premise, of course, is that the cop in a quiet town where nothing happens and everything's like cute suburbia, but it turns out they're all part of like a blood cult or something. As it, you know.
Well, they just gotta keep the riffraff out. It's
Oh,
all for the
that's
greater
right.
Good, man.
He's all for the greater good, and they're all murderers. And they start trying to uncover the plot where these nice old people are murderers to the riffraff. Yeah, it is a very, very funny movie. Simon Pegg, man, he lures you in. He shows you. He always will tell you a very normal, ordinary story. And so you're like, oh, I know these people. These are people that I've grown up with. These are people that I've met. These are people I hang out with, right? And then it starts to twist a little bit in the middle of the movie. And you're like, whoa, 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 hang on. What this? I'm not used to this. And then by the end of the movie,
perverts.
yeah, you get into this whole other thing. You're like, I was not expecting it to end up here at all.
Right.
And that's with every one of his movies. If you guys have seen Spaced, the TV show that he was known for originally too, same thing. His premises just go off the rails in the best way possible.
I haven't seen Spaced, although it's been on my list. I've been
I mean,
meaning to get around to watch that.
you like him for the rest of his movies as well, I imagine, Simon Pegg.
Yeah, no, I mean, like, I think he does a good job in the Mission Impossible movies and stuff. But he,
Oh my God, right, fair, okay.
did a great job, both being in and writing Star Trek Beyond.
Right. As a fan of sci-fi, I'm sure he's just absolutely living his dream right there. He's like, yep, I did it, right? Like, I wrote the script for Star Trek Beyond.
Yeah, especially since it was, probably the highest rated of those three movies. I imagine he probably feels pretty proud of himself for doing that.
Yeah, 100%.
But yeah, Hot Fuzz I just really liked. I love action comedies a lot. I remember the first time I watched it, there was less action than I anticipated there being. But then I didn't mind because everything was just so gosh darn funny.
Right.
Fair, right?
So I guess too, I'll follow up with the Big Lebowski because
Wait,
I mean,
hang
I
on,
guess
real quick, Aaron, don't you have some thoughts on Hot Fuzz as well? All right, Aaron is no longer with us. He is among
MIA.
the riffraff. But yeah, let's Big Lebowski.
So yeah, I got because we didn't get such a complicated answer for the first one. I guess I'll ask about Big Lebowski, which I mean I guess everyone here has a reason to like Big Lebowski because it's a fun movie. It really is.
It's a fun movie that it was the first Coen Brothers movie I'd ever seen. It was also one that I first saw on TV edited, so a whole bunch of the language, swapped around and changed and stuff.
Yeah, they like.
Do you like to serve your mother scrambled eggs?
This is bull stuff.
Do you see what happens when you meet a stranger in the Alps?
Like, what? Is he crazy? And I guess he is. I mean, but
it was a movie that like I thought was okay when I first saw it. I think I might have been sick at that time and just watching whatever was popping up on Comedy Central. And then it was a film that I don't remember what prompted me watching it again, but then I was like, oh, this is even better than I remember. And then I, actually heard the actual dialogue in it, and I watched it again sometime later, and it was even better. It's just one of those movies that I feel like gets better every single time you watch it. And there's some movies that like, oh, you notice new little details and stuff, and and you appreciate it more. Maybe a little bit of that is happening with The Big Lebowski. But I don't think that's really happening. I don't think I'm noticing that many new things. I see the same things I saw before, and I just laugh even harder. I thought it was like kind of an amusing bit when they were telling Donnie to shut the fuck up every 5 seconds.
See, and I was gonna say, just like the level of banter, they're just like, Donnie, shut the fuck up.
And I just
like everybody just pissing on Donnie. Like, shout out to Steve Buscemi too, because he just looks like the Donnie. Yeah. Like he just looks, like.
There's just something special about the writing in those bits that it's a thing that I just love more and more every time I watch it.
The
Yeah.
Coen brothers are really good at that. They just they make characters who feel real. And when you follow their script to a T, which is what they demand, then they do feel real, right?
Yeah, it's just all these characters are so weird and interesting, you know.
You don't even know the fucking rules, Donnie.
Yeah. Yeah, and you could just, anybody could quote any part of that movie to me anytime. I'll instantly recognize it, and it'll make me laugh.
Right.
I didn't
And
anticipate that. It came to my head, and I was just like, that's a good bit. Yeah, that's a good line.
yeah, and that's why I'm like, oh, that's, a movie that just lives in my head like that. I gotta include that. That's part of me now.
Good shit.
Do you believe that Donnie is a figment of Walter's imagination?
I've heard about this.
Well, it's perpetuated by none other than the dude himself.
What, Jeff Bridges is just
Yeah.
out there trolling people?
Well, so he says
Doesn't the dude address Donnie in the
so
video?
it's really hard. It's really hard to tell. I mean, because of course, Jeff Bridges, if he has the opportunity to troll a bunch of people, he's gonna do it with a smirk on his face. But he also might believe it and do it with the same smirk. So that's why it's impossible to tell if he's messing with us or not. But yeah, if you watch The Big Lebowski, from what I understand, because I haven't gone back and watched it since I learned this information, the only person who's addressing him is Walter, and you kind of assume, like in The Sixth Sense, spoilers if that's a spoiler, that I guess if I didn't say it, it wouldn't have been a spoiler.
He sees
Anyway.
dead people?
Yeah, so it's his like buddy from like Nam or something. He's carrying like this ghost around with him. Or,
I mean,
he's having a tragic, he's post-traumatic stress or whatever. I'm sorry, John, I cut you off.
Oh, no. I was just thinking, like, yeah, I guess up until the part where they have their fight with the nihilists. Yeah, I don't think. I was just thinking to myself, I was like, I actually can't recall the dude ever talking to him at all up until that point.
Oh, so the dude does talk to him at the fight with the nihilists. I wonder what his contention is for that. Yeah, because then again, that's the. I don't know all the counter arguments, but apparently there's a number of counter arguments for them from Jeff Bridges himself. So he might be trolling us or not. But okay, so the dude does talk to him,
Or at least I think. I'm actually not certain if he talks to him or just about him. Once he starts clutching his chest and stuff. And then then there's the scene with Folger's can and everything.
Oh, okay, right.
I'm trying not to laugh, and I'm just remembering quotes. I'm not even jokes, just quotes,
Right.
and I'm laughing.
The Big Lebowski is full of them. Did you go down a Coen Brothers? I don't know. I was gonna say Steven, but a Coen Brothers rabbit hole at all after this movie?
I mean, I certainly saw a couple of their movies. I saw the Lady Killers.
Oh, fun. Okay.
Raising Arizona.
Oh, interesting.
Fargo.
Right. Some classics. Yeah, nice.
I remember, I think when I first saw it, I didn't even know that No Country for Old Men was a Coen Brothers film.
Yeah, both that and Lady Killers are both adaptations.
Yeah.
So they have a different feeling for sure than their like original stuff. But yeah, that one definitely is more of like they're like paying an homage to the author. The author's name. I'm forgetting at the moment.
Yeah. And I'm trying to remember if it's Joel or Ethan,
Cormac
because I know
McCarthy.
they've kind of gone their separate ways to work on stuff individually. But one of them worked on an adaptation of Macbeth with Denzel Washington, and Frances McDormand. That's absolutely fantastic, and I highly recommend that to everybody.
Oh, okay, it's
To
out. When did it come out?
um, I think it's been a couple years.
Okay.
It's only available on Apple TV.
Damn.
Which is a shame because I would have picked up a physical copy of that if I could, um, but highly recommend
2021
watching it.
Tragedy of Macbeth, Denzel Washington. Okay, that's interesting, and it's Joel Coen. To answer that question, I thought it was going to be too artsy. Oh, A24.
Yeah, I mean it is pretty artsy.
But like I didn't realize it was a Coen Brothers movie, which means that they can handle that high stylistic choice if they want to. Not, some people can get lost in the style and not do a good job if they're not skilled, Um, but yeah, I can see
Yeah,
how they could pull that off. The Man Who Wasn't There, I think was the one I was thinking of that they decided to do in black and white, but also offered it in color. Um, it's a Coen Brothers movie, right?
um,
With
yeah, yeah,
Billy Bob Thornton and Scarlett Johansson. Yeah, John Goodman. It's a fun movie.
Didn't they also do Oh Brother Where Art Thou, or am I
Yeah, well,
mistaken?
Brother Alex,
yeah. They
yeah,
did that.
is another one.
What a
Yeah,
great movie. Oh my
movies,
God.
like they have their weird, quirky sense of humor. I look at the Coen Brothers as a huge inspiration, just for like how odd they are and how long they've continued doing their own thing. Being those guys.
Yeah,
Because who gets away with it? Except for the Coen Brothers, gets away with a movie like The Big Lebowski, or Oh Brother, We're Out There, or Barton Fink, or any of the other movies that we've mentioned. Uh,
yeah.
I mean, Cormac
I
McCarthy was
remember.
not considered something you could film.
Yeah. Um, and they did it. Was there an adaptation that was eventually done of oh God, what's that one called? The just the really violent Western one, which I guess doesn't really narrow down Cormac McCarthy that much. But Blood Meridian.
Oh, I think so. I think I saw a movie. No, no.
There's an adaptation of Blood Meridian?
Well,
Well, I thought that there was talks about doing one, but
it was announced in 2023, um, according to IMDb. Which, I mean, wow, that would be cool.
yeah, I was trying to remember if that had actually gotten done or if that was just a thing where they were like, "Hey, we're gonna be adapting it. I heard the news," and then uh,
It could be that somebody bought it, and
yeah,
yeah, shopping around and whatever. Yeah, I mean, No Country for Old Men is a very interesting movie. Since it's a non-story, right? It's about how life is passing this old man by. And so we as the viewer are with that guy who's getting passed by. So it leaves you feeling cheated, but that's the intention of the film, so it does a good job, you know?
I remember watching it and kind of having a hard time figuring what it was, or at least what I was supposed to get from it. But I guess that's kind of the point.
Yeah, I mean that's the thing. Like it's summed up in the guy's monologues that at the very end, Tommy Lee Jones, where he's talking
Yeah.
about like the crimes. It used to be that he'd be the one chasing the crimes or something along those lines, and then now it's just he's had these dreams where he's just sitting there. And that's as you're watching the movie, you're like seeing that he's not quite catching up to them, up to the point that all the events that you care about in the movie happen off screen. And because our character who we're following, the turtle or whatever, doesn't get there in time. Yeah. So, you know what I mean? So, like, it's really audacious. Like, it's not what you should do with storytelling, and I say should, but like, but that's the goal. Like, that's the point. That's the story it's telling. So it's breaking the should in order to like be its own thing and be true to itself, which, 100% supported. Also, it's not gonna be a very popular movie because people don't like that.
Ah, yeah.
You know what I mean? Same thing with Requiem, right? Like it delivers that performance. I think it's Darren Aronofsky, who's the director on
Yeah.
that film. So he does a fantastic job with the movie, but like it's just like it's so powerful. It's just like, yeah, one time I'm good.
Yeah. That Requiem for a Dream, that one I have real trouble watching that one just because the just the oppressive feeling of
You're hitting
you
it
know
on the head. As soon as the soundtrack kicked in, like that feeling of like being dominated and controlled, like the feeling of addiction, which is what the movie is supposed to make you feel like, took over, and I was like, nope, nope, nope. Like I don't want it. Not gonna ride the ride. Yeah, that's why it's hard to
yeah.
watch. Yeah,
Excuse me, y'all. I apologize for my early exit, but my wife's got some things going on, and I need to go be supportive.
he said it for the
Fair
first
enough.
time officially. Congratulations, Logan. Yeah,
Hey,
and this is his first time
thanks again,
back.
you guys. Appreciate that. The honeymoon was gorgeous. I sent pictures to the chat if
Yeah.
anybody wants to see them. We had a gorgeous time in the Smoky Mountain National Park. We just went and dicked around for 3 days. We were playing in rivers and stuff. We had a blast. The weather was perfect.
That's awesome.
We had so much fun. But all right, guys. Logan Gifford signing off.
Bye, Logan. Logan
Thank you,
Gifford,
guys.
writer and producer for Cox in Space, and actor. So, yeah. So there we are. He is signing off early. We still have a fair amount of show left to do. Jack, did your stream? I think you may have left altogether.
Yeah, I see the mute symbol
Yeah, he's like,
on.
look, Brad, we be out on this one, but officially. Aaron Cosgrove, do you love Pee-wee's Big Adventure, right?
I do love Pee Wee. Yeah. I uh I was more into the Playhouse than the movie,
Ah,
but still loved the movie. I think he was like one of the first impressions I ever tried to do was Pee Wee Herman growing up. I know you are, but what am I? Something like that.
Uh, I
Connect
don't
the
make
dots.
monkeys.
La 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 la. Yeah.
I am curious if you were a big fan of Pee Wee when you were very young, would you say um I guess who introduced you to the bow tie? Would it be Pee Wee Herman or Bill Nye?
It would have been Pee Wee Herman. I was more of a Beekman guy than Bill Nye. Uh, like
Beekman's World.
Bill Nye
Wow.
was okay, but yeah, like Beekman's World was funnier. Um, like the rat,
So,
those like two little penguins. Uh, Beekman himself. But
make
I mean, Bill Nye kept with it. So he has like Beekman on longevity. Uh,
that's fair.
Yeah.
So you say the bow tie came from Pee Wee Herman, as that?
Probably more from Pee Wee Herman. Well, I mean, more or less. When I started doing stand up, I was wearing a bow tie, like a tux for every show.
Right.
So that's
Bow
where
tie
the
makes
bow
sense.
tie really came from. Was just like a downgrade from the tux. Uh,
Fair. Like if you can't wear a tux every time, at least you can wear a bow tie.
yeah.
Was that
Tweet and bow tie.
was that really tough? Well, I imagine that probably would be why you stopped. Like I can't imagine wearing a tux to every show and then like keeping it.
I used to own two.
Really?
I was in when I was in high school. I was in like 2 choirs and an orchestra.
Oh.
So one of my tuxes was from being in like the after school select choir, and the other one was from being in orchestra. So yeah, like I only stopped because I was trying to audition for Zanies in Chicago, and the guy who was booking the show asked me, "How many professors do you know wear a tux?" And I was like, "You're right." And so I went to tweed in the bow tie rather than the tux.
It's a good point.
Yeah, the tweed is a solid choice.
Yeah.
Maybe
Plus-
I'm just a sucker for tweed. Sorry.
Yeah.
Go on.
I also don't think I can fit into the old tuxes anymore, because that was long time ago when I was a slender man.
You're Slender Man? Facts
Yeah, I
revealed
was
here
I
on
was Slender
Drawing
Man.
with Jack.
Did
Influencing a
I
generation,
never tell you, Caleb,
hiding
about
in
the time I was
photographs.
Slender Man?
Aaron Cosbiel reveals he is Slender Man.
I mean,
So
it's a hobby, you know.
I didn't know what you did, or when you went off to did. You were always so secretive about it. I thought you must have assumed that I knew that you knew that I knew.
Yeah. It's just one of those things where you hang out with somebody all the time, so you think you've told them something, but then you didn't.
Yes, right. My hidden secret life where I lurk in the shadows and influence children's minds. Which is, of course, directly related to Pee-wee's Big Adventures and Playhouse. um, for me, we were watching one Saturday morning Pee-wee's Playhouse, and my dad had gotten the paper or something and had read the allegations against Pee-wee Herman, and so they're like, no, can't watch that anymore. So I never really watched Pee-wee's Big Adventure. Paul Rubens, I think, was shamed for something ridiculous. Didn't he also do time for it?
I don't think he did. I think he's just like they caught him, and let's find out.
Yeah, so that's the. But yeah, no, see, you didn't see him for a while. And then he started
Yeah.
showing up again. I think Mystery Men was his comeback movie, or
Oh, yeah.
that time period. That's where, somebody once told me the Smash Mouth hit came from.
Okay, so he was arrested for indecent exposure.
Oh, crap. I didn't realize that it was also CP. Um, wow. That was
But it was
also that was
at an adult movie theater.
Yeah,
So it
that's the
wasn't.
thing. Like, so in 1991, that was the allegation I was talking about. He's in an adult movie theater. Um, and
I'm
y-
surprised that
y-
somebody wasn't at an adult movie theater.
well, that's yeah, exactly. Like, I mean, what do you think? What do you think everyone was there to
That,
do? Um,
yeah.
you know.
I go there for the art.
So I think it had something to do with the way that he was viewed as Pee-wee and as like a child's, entertainer, since he's viewed that way. Um, then it was uncovered that 2002 there's some, possession of some other photography that makes him worse in my mind, but uh, that's not to taint the image of Pee-wee's
There
Big
is
Adventure.
documentary about Paul Rubens on HBO. I should watch
Nice.
that sometime.
Yeah. If you feel like checking back in with us about that, I would be interested in hearing more about that. Um, so, John, what was it about Pee-wee's Big Adventure for you that adds it to this top 25?
You know, now that we've covered the allegations against Pee-wee,
Sorry, they seem more
that's
prominent in my mind.
it was another movie I saw when I was a kid. It was a movie um, that I found funny, but in kind of a weird way that I didn't really understand.
Yeah, Pee-wee's a
Um,
gangster who will kill someone over stealing his bike. He's
yeah,
gonna drown the kid or the adult.
it was such an odd movie. Uh, it really left an impression on me. I remember being genuinely terrified of Large Marge
See,
when I
that's what I was
was a
gonna say
child.
too. I was like, how did it make it to this list when she's so freaking scary? Like that comes out of nowhere. They like set you up as a kid, being like, "Oh, that's fine. We're gonna get out of this truck," and then all of a sudden, just like, boom, hits you with that.
Yeah, it's but the way it kind of it sneaks in a lot of stuff about, like I remember the convict who was talking about, getting so angry that he took a knife and he's like, "Oh, those tags on mattresses that say do not remove. I cut one of them off."
I go to my I forgot where that joke came from, but yeah, you selected core memory. I was like, if you like as a kid, you're like, why is that wrong? Like, what did he do? Like, what's so terrible?
It's just, it's such a zany movie that kind of has, it doesn't have that weird uh, aesthetic that the director later kind of made his kind of whole thing. But, um,
Is that a Tim Burton movie?
yeah, yeah.
Okay, that's what I was thinking, but then that's the thing is like Big Fish, like you can't tell because like they took away some creative control from him, and he just did the thing he's good at, which is pulling projects together.
But like, even though like the world looks entirely normal and realistic, just all these weird, wacky characters that he meets. Well, a mixture between the weird and wacky, and the some that seem weird and wacky, but like are just kind of regular con artists taking advantage of this wacky main protagonist, like Madam. I can't remember the fortune teller's name. When she's going through his wallet and looking at pictures of a bike and just pulling words off the background like Kaiser Soze.
Oh yeah,
Uh, just it's such an interesting mix of all these different ideas coming together, and it doesn't feel rushed at all. But it's not a very long movie, and it manages to fit so much in. Um, yeah,
yeah.
that
That's
movie's just a
true.
good time.
Yeah, it's you jump onto the rocket and you ride it. That's how that movie works. Um,
Yeah.
yeah, fun. It is. That is a fun movie. Remembering it now, like playing through the parts. I haven't seen it in a long time. Uh, it's so silly. It's such a silly movie. So we're getting some flavor for the rest of it. I want to get into the Matrix also. Um,
Mm.
because how can this not be on your list? I think it's either The Matrix or Fight Club that people like. It's either one or the other on them for like movies that came out like, around like that era.
Mm. Um, I guess is your question, why is it on the list,
Oh
or
yeah, yeah.
I
What
guess like,
yeah, I guess that was a really open-ended, right? It was more like, yeah, how did it get? How is it that this is one of the movies that's been selected for this list?
I mean, yeah, it was a it was a movie that I'd heard of long before I was able to watch it.
Hmm.
I
Okay.
mean, like I I was a little bit young when it first came out, and I wasn't able to see it for a couple of years after that. But I had seen parodies and stuff of it.
Of course, because it was everywhere. Like the
Yeah,
camera work in the first movie, like broke people's brains.
yeah. I think when I finally watched it was about the time that the sequel had come out.
Okay, gotcha.
Um, but I mean, between the action and the philosophical ideas that it gets into, I mean, I know it's not like exactly the deepest movie ever, but like, for me when I was a kid growing up, like, I mean, those were a lot of new ideas that I hadn't considered before.
Right, right. Don't
Um,
worry about the vase. What vase? He turns and knocks the vase over. She's like, right? Would you have knocked it if I hadn't said, don't worry about the vase? And you're like, wait, what? What did you just put in my brain in the middle of a sci-fi film? What did you?
yeah, it's one of those things that like, it's kind of a kitchen sink of a lot of different philosophical ideas that for me made me think about a lot of stuff that I wasn't thinking about
Right.
before growing up. Um, like not to not to deviate entirely, but like a similar property that had that effect on me was the video game Deus Ex. If either of y'all had played that, um,
No.
which was
What is the premise of that?
that one's it's a cyberpunk game where you are essentially part of a United Nations counterterrorism task force
Okay.
that eventually the Illuminati pops up and stuff, and uh, AIs and all sorts of things. And
Fun.
it's also another kind of kitchen sink type of thing. But it's a
Uh,
thing where like,
the
okay,
philosophy is gotcha.
yeah, it came out in 2000. It the voice acting isn't exactly the most subtle, but like it's just constantly throwing out references to various you can read little snippets of Voltaire, G.K. Chesterton, like a whole bunch of like referencing like old like Catholic philosophers from like so long ago.
Interesting.
uh like there's a there's a whole concept in it called like the Aquinas Protocol, and I'm like, what does that mean? Oh, it's named after Saint Thomas Aquinas. Okay,
Gotcha. Right.
I
I
guess
gotcha.
I've it you walk into a bar in Hong Kong in the game, and then you start talking to a bartender, and the main character just has a debate with the bartender about democracy versus the efficiency of a more centralized government in China, and like
What?
it's all
Okay.
kind of simple, but like I guess it was a bunch of concepts that at that age I hadn't come across yet, and like same with the Matrix, uh, it had so many references to so many things, besides being cool, um, cool in ways that attracted me to it in the first place, um, that it just had a pretty big impact on me later by just causing me to explore all these different ideas and stuff. Um, and then that's not even getting into the action of the Matrix, which
Right. Right.
was
Yeah. Exactly.
you know which was really cool. And naturally, being a young, being a young boy at the time, I thought all the sunglasses and trench coats were the coolest things ever.
For real.
I luckily never was able to buy any of those
There would be
as a kid.
photos. Yeah, but there is, I mean, it definitely, as far as an aesthetic, it influenced that for a while. It definitely became more common. Yeah, the cinematography in that movie, of course, we're talking about the spinning shot that's pulled off by sequential photos being done, green
Yeah.
screening effects. Um, some of the stunts they pull off, as far as like they're fighting in the air, slow motion camera movements as these actions are happening, really groundbreaking from the two Wachowski sisters. They just nailed it, you know. Um, and for the first one, I appreciate that the first one's on the list. What are your thoughts on the rest of the series?
Um, I remember really liking The Matrix Reloaded, and then I remember not caring for The Matrix Revolutions as much. And The Matrix Revolutions is another movie that I've gone back to later, and I've liked more.
Okay.
Um, now that I'm older. Um, One thing that I do remember that I guess a criticism that I had of it at the time when I saw it when it came out was I felt like there was too much mech action going on in the movie, and I was like, that's not what I'm here for. I'm
Right.
here for green tinted slow motion martial arts.
Right, right, of
I'm
course.
not. I can enjoy that more now. And then I also was like, wait, hang on. He doesn't beat Agent Smith into oblivion. Uh, Wait, does he die? Does Neo die? That's terrible. Why does
Right,
this happen?
right.
I appreciate it more now. I think it's still, it's not as clean as the first movie is.
Right, right.
Um,
They
it's
could have left the
certainly.
first movie alone. It didn't need a series. There is a series. Uh, so if you get offered money to continue a project that you love, you of course say yes. So I understand why
Yeah.
they did it. Uh, but you didn't mention the fourth movie at all.
I didn't. I think that falls into the camp of movies that I respect, but like I don't love that much.
Ah, okay.
Um,
Respect how.
like I like a lot of the ideas in it, and uh, how they sort of treat Neo and Trinity, uh, sort of freeing themselves and uh, forging their own path and making it something different, uh, and something that's not just the same. Uh,
Right.
you know, I appreciate the metaphor for what the Wachowskis were doing in their own lives. Um,
Oh, interesting.
I guess
Okay,
I
I got
just
you. I got you. You're like, but you like.
yeah, but like it's like I didn't like the action as much as the earlier ones. Um,
Yeah, it feels
uh,
a bit stunted, especially. I mean, well, like, and also it's hard to be groundbreaking multiple times. I think that's what the Matrix series in general suffers under, is the first movie was just so widely acclaimed for what it did, and then how do you top that?
yeah, it's like it is a very it's a very interesting movie that I respect and enjoyed. It just didn't it didn't uh, it didn't grab me as much, and I also just like um uh I think it also bothered me more that Morpheus was played by a different person.
Yeah,
Uh
that's
like
that. Fair.
I was bothered by it more than I felt that I should have been. Um but I think that was just because like I had such an attachment to that character. I
Right.
think that was a big part of it.
He
I was
he
very
is
glad.
he is the glue. I mean, to that cast. So
Yeah. Uh, So like, yeah, I guess it just like it didn't have as big of an emotional impact on me as the earlier ones did. Even if I do think it's really cool and I'm glad it exists.
Right. Yeah. Right. And you said there's a huge list of movies that fell into that category. That they're great films, but you don't love them. And loving is about personal taste. And I think that's what we're kind of like going through tonight, which fun. Um, all right, so we've knocked off a bunch of them. We are in about the last 15 minutes or so of the show. Um, so what's the one movie that we haven't covered that we absolutely need to cover, um, in your opinion?
Oh. Um, that's that's tough.
Right. I mean,
Like,
out of your top top favorite films.
um,
I'm sorry to give you such a hard question.
uh, okay. It's I'm gonna shout out two of them
Okay.
that I think are. I said this wasn't really in order, and it's not really in order, but like two definitely of my favorite films of all time that like if I were to narrow this down to the top five, I know these two would be in it, would be
Nice.
In Bruges and The Life Aquatic. And
Nice.
we haven't
Okay.
talked about either of them,
Yeah,
and you
no.
might think that uh, I want to talk about them now, but no, I want to talk about Shanghai Noon.
That's what I was hoping you were gonna hit on. So
Like, okay, this is where like my standards in talking about all those other things about like movies that I respect but don't love, and it also works kind of the other way. Not
okay.
to say that I don't respect Shanghai Noon at all, but like you look at anybody trying to say like if when you see lists online of people being like, "Hey, what are the best Jackie Chan movies?"
Right,
They're
right.
they're not going to throw Shanghai Noon at the
No,
top of the
no.
list. It's not like the films he did in Hong Kong where he's doing, a million takes to be able to get stuff in one shot to show, full action and reaction and all that stuff, making it more complicated and crazy. Um, and Owen Wilson has been in some really powerful movies, but uh, here is kind of just like being Owen Wilson.
Right,
Uh,
right.
but you know what? Sometimes that's awesome. And this is probably going to be one because this is like the first movie I watched with a bunch of friends. As opposed to like just with my family at home. This was like one of
Nice.
the
Liar Liar
earliest
was one of
birthday
those for
parties.
me. Yeah, yeah.
Yeah, I got like invited to somebody's birthday party, and then we watched this, and then just it's just so much fun. There's a reason why Owen Wilson gets hired to be Owen Wilson in movies because he's a lot of fun. Because and Jackie Chan, even if the stunts aren't as impressive because of the way it's shot versus his Hong Kong movies, the action is all still a ton of fun, and they've got great comedic timing, and it's a very you know there's not any time wasted. It's just a really solid movie that I have fond memories of, and I can go back and watch it and have a good time anytime. Uh, and
Anytime.
I feel like, yeah, and I feel like, as much as we talk about, the depth of various movies and stuff, like, I think movies like this are important,
Hmm.
and I love them.
Yeah, actually, I would love to run on that tangent for a little bit, because I think what you may have picked up on this conversation because we haven't really talked about movies in general, but like and I think what you look forward to in movies is like the quality of the film. You can respect that. I think that's what you mean by the word respect, right? Like cinematography is challenging and when pulled off, it's beautiful. Same thing with acting and a score and getting that all to work together. Like that's, that takes skill to do. Um, and so it might sound like the only thing that I think are films worth watching are films that have a high degree of quality, right? But I love that we end here in Shanghai Noon because the point of films for a lot of people is just entertainment. The reason people want to go to see a movie is because they don't want to have to like think so much. Or the reason they put on, something is so they can just laugh together with their friends, right? So I think people sleep on that as being a quality of a film also. Although, we have to respect Fast and Furious that he's coming out with 12 movies now. Is that what it's at?
Yeah, gotta, it's all about family.
Well, but like this is, I think the reason you love Shanghai Noon, right? Because it's this thing where it's fun ride, it's comedic, and I was just comparing it to Fast and the Furious, where people love it because it's real fast, it's super silly, the amount of stunts that they do, like the degree that they take it to, it has the same sort of like heart that you're talking about in this movie. You can tell that they have a like off the camera too, and they were having a great time on set together. And I think you get that from Fast and the Furious movies. I think Vin Diesel is probably a fun guy to hang out with. So that's where, like, I think that, like in judging qualities of films, like the funness of a film is something that is often left out.
Yeah. And like, and I think it's also, even though, I guess even I was just talking about, the difference in how technically hard it is to shoot things like Jackie Chan was shooting in Hong Kong versus, in America. But at the same time, it's also like, just being fun, creating something that is just fun is a hard job, And I think like that's the way a lot of comedians and comedic movies can get overlooked at award shows and stuff. But it's like, it's not easy to make a thing that's fun.
Right. Well, because making a thing is a lot of work, and it's very easy to lose the fun somewhere along the line. Because even if it was fun on set, you may not have captured that fun on camera. And even if you did capture that fun on camera, you might not be able to capture that fun in the editing, right? And even if you capture in the editing, you might not be able to support it correctly with the score. So there's just degrees. It has to be cared for the whole time. Also, like physical comedy is exhausting and sometimes painful to do. Jackie Chan can point to all of the bones that he's broken doing his stunts. And now he's definitely been more known for doing like the comedic kind of karate. But he's serious about that as he is about his other stunts and whatnot.
Yeah. And, figuring out like, and that like it's usually played for comedy, but just like the originality of how to use all these different objects around a set.
You gotta
like,
love that.
That creativity. Yeah, that's that's people, I don't know. People might talk about like the best martial artists of varying stripes, but like then when I see that kind of just originality, like that's, I'm like that sticks with you. It makes somebody really iconic when they're like you can see a bunch of different action movies, and all of them are going to be technically difficult to put together to do good action.
Right,
but, like
right.
that stuff that like really sticks in your brain, that kind of creativity of putting that stuff together.
He makes it look like it's improvised and happening in the moment, but he's choreographed that for everything to be exactly where he wants it to be to get that. So you do have to admire that Jackie Chan always makes it feel fresh. Like he always makes it feel like this is the one time he's doing it.
Yeah. And that kind of grit and perseverance always amazes me.
I mean, he's got to be great cardio, right? Like to do the stunts he does one time, I'm like, all right, cool, I'm out of wind. They're like, oh, we need to switch to the other camera angle to get that other one. He's like, all right, let's go again. Like, nah, Jackie, I'm good. I'm good.
Yeah.
And then, hot take on a Western. Uh, so not historically accurate.
Oh yeah. The
It's just, but it's not intended to be. You know that what I mean? Like they're like, no,
yeah.
this is a human cartoon. That's what we're doing. Um, so, but
Yeah. I love that it's, it's kind of billed and advertised as, East meets West, and it's like, oh, what happens when he encounters the embodied by Owen Wilson, but you know, it like it's fun how just like both of the main characters don't fit in there.
right, yeah,
They're
exactly.
both outsiders. Jackie Chan being his character being from Asia, and Owen Wilson being a time traveler from you know city on a California beach, being Owen Wilson.
Right, exactly. Oh, and where would we be? When you mentioned that he had, great movies of historical value, I'm pretty sure you meant Zoolander, um, and I agree with you. So,
Well, naturally.
Hmm.
John, thank you for being here tonight. We are gonna start to wrap up. Do you have any like closing thoughts on these films overall?
Um, oh man, I didn't think that far ahead.
That's okay. Uh, is there one movie that you're like, I wish that I could put on this list because I wish that it was a movie?
Oh, that I wish that it was a movie.
Yeah.
Um, oh, the Hannibal television series.
Really?
Oh
That,
yeah, that's a show I love to talk about. It kind of changed how I viewed the character of Hannibal Lecter.
huh.
I think I actually prefer Mads Mikkelsen's performance to Anthony Hopkins. Not that it's a
Wow.
competition, but
No, no, they're obviously both different interpretations. There's a million different Hamlets. I don't know who plays them, but okay. But his interpretation you find more interesting. That's cool. So you'd like to see that Matt Mickelson play Hannibal in a movie?
um,
Is that what you're saying? Or
no, I mean I'm just like,
that world
oh,
and
in this context we were talking about specifically movies, and I guess I interpreted your question of just like, oh, is there a property or something that if it was, if it was a movie, what would you be talking about right now?
right, right. That's okay. Yeah, that was the way to interpret it. That's fantastic. Okay, I got you.
Sorry.
You're like, if I could be like talking about that as a movie, and all due respect, it's I mean not technically a movie because I don't know. There's some framework for what that is. I guess the episodes don't make it, but those are all individual scenes to the big story. So you can some TV shows you'd be like, yeah, it's just a 10-hour movie.
Well, I think I recall. Oh my God, what is his name? The showrunner, where he was talking about for the third season, just like, oh, I tell everybody, just remember, we're making a pretentious art film.
I gotcha. That sounds fun as a TV show. Oh,
Yeah.
man, John, well, thank you so much for coming, talking movies with us. This has been a lot of fun. I think you have great taste in film. Um, because I like the movies that you have on your list. So again, thank you so much. Goodbye to Professor of Comedy, who was just here. You can find him at professorofcomedy.com. That's Aaron Cosbiel. We have Jack Haynes, who is our illustrator, who has disappeared for the evening or is tuning in as a podcast. You can find him at twitch.tv/Kopasi, where he live streams the video games he plays. You can find us all at coxinspace.com, coxinspace.com. I'm Skip Marazzi, your host and friend. I've been here with John, talking about some of John's favorite movies, and we've had a great time. So we're gonna sign off for the evening, and we will see you later. Bye.